Hey guys, welcome to Vision Shares. My name is Karthik Kulkarni and today I'm going to be talking about IPOs and FPOs. There is more to public offering than just IPOs and FPOs. There is something called as private placement that happens, within the company itself. The company it decides to only give it to a certain individuals or certain companies, and they or even employees, and they call it private placement because it's done privately, whereas FPOs and IPOs are done publicly, and hence the word public offers. Now everybody has heard IPO everywhere, but I'm going to be talking about what exactly is IPO, and how you can practically apply for an IPO on your trading platforms. So here we go. Initial public offering, also known as IPO or stock launch, is a public offering in which the shares of company are sold to institutional investors and usually also retail or individual investors. Now, initial public offering means an offering done to the public or to the retail investors, so it's called. Initial means the first. So when a company wants to offer to the public shares for the first time, it's known as initial public offer. It can be sold to institutional investors such as companies, big companies, or group of people or individuals such as us. A private company converts itself into a public company in the process of paying an IPO. The company first issues a prospectus to the public, issuing all necessary information regarding the IPO. Now, a private company cannot issue a public offer. They need to convert themselves into a public company, and then only then they can issue an IPO. So a company can only give private placement, but it cannot give a public offer since it is not a public company. The company issues a prospectus. That is, a prospectus is an invitation for the public to bid for the IPO. A prospectus is basically it's a pamphlet or a booklet or whatever you can say that contains the information regarding the IPO that the company wants to bring out. It may be the amount that is supposed to be raised or the number of shares that are supposed to be issued, and maybe the company's background, the financials, or even the reasons for why the IPO is being brought out. There's all this information regarding the IPO is put into the prospectus for the investors to read up so that they can make a decision whether to apply to the IPO or not. There are various reasons why a company wants to go public. Some of them are as follows: expansion strategy, product diversification, debt repayment, access to more capital. Now, expansion strategy is basically when the company is a small company, but it wants to expand itself to various other regions, out of its current location. Suppose if it is constrained to only one state, now if it wants to go to another state to start its business there, the company may raise an IPO to, expand itself. Not just in reasons of expanding their business, it can be even in expanding their manufacturing, it can be expanding their contacts, all over the country. Product diversification. If a company wants to get into a new line of business, get to start manufacturing a new type of product, raise funds and use those funds to, go into the new line. Debt repayment. There are many companies, big companies that are taking huge funds as debt from banks, and many financial institutions that give loans, and they have burdened themselves with these debts. So now the company wants to repay them because they don't have the funds to repay their entire amount, or they don't have enough equity to pay off the debt. So the company may decide to issue an IPO just for the debt repayment so that they can focus on making the company better, a little burden free. Access to more capital, that's a very common point. The point of raising an IPO is to gain access to more capital so that they can use it for some other use. Okay, let's talk about FPO, also known as follow on public offering. An FPO is basically a public offering that is done after an IPO. Now, IPO is an initial, the first time when they offer to the public. The same way, if the company decides to issue more shares and raise more funds after the initial public offering, it is known as a follow on public offering. A follow-on offering, also known as a follow-on public offering, is a type of public offering of stock that occurs subsequent to the company's initial public offering. A follow-on offering can be categorized as a dilutive or non-dilutive. In the case of dilutive offering, the company's board of directors agrees to increase the share float for the purpose of selling more equity in the company. The non-dilutive type of follow-on offering is when privately held shares are offered for sale by company directors or the insiders such as venture capitalists who may be looking to diversify their holdings. Different terms related to public offering, like I said in the beginning of the video. There are some terms that you need to get yourself familiar with, such as private placement, qualified institutional buy, also known as QIP, and sweat equity shares. Now, private placement, it means that you give your shares of the company privately to certain individuals, such as your employees or certain people outside the company. Maybe a group of people who have or who have funds and who you want them to invest in your own company. Now, qualified institutional buyer or QIB, defined by the SEBI, is a person or a group of persons who have the knowledge, the expertise knowledge of the stock, of the market, and who have the financial knowledge as well, who can make decisions regarding the financial planning and otherwise. And they know where to invest, how much to invest, and whether it's a good decision to make. Such people or a company or any institution are known as qualified institutional buyers, and these are the company who wants to issue the IPO. They go personally to those qualified institutional buyers and ask them to put funds in our company. Sweat equity shares, if you haven't already know that shares cannot be sold at discounts to the public. It is forbidden by the Companies Act, except when the company decides to issue shares to their own employees, at a discount, below the cost. That is, it is known as sweat equity shares. Okay, I'm going to be talking about how to apply for an IPO, practically by using your own trading platform. Now, I have typed out the steps because I wrote it in a general way, so that because it differs from each app that you're using. The steps that I've typed out are: click on apply option under IPO category of our trading platform, go to your app and click on the IPO and apply. Select your desired price within the price band and the required number of shares. Be sure it is the minimum number required or above. Now, for an IPO, the apps, they set a certain minimum number of shares, the minimum amount that you're supposed to be investing into the IPO. It's already selected, it's pre-selected when you enter into the IPO selection. You may also apply in lots, that is the minimum number of shares to be applied is one lot. Subsequently, the two lots will be the double of those number of shares. For example, if one lot is 100 shares, then the two lots will be 200 shares. Now, let's say if the company wants to raise a certain amount of money, say, whatever amount, and the minimum that you're supposed to be investing is 10,000 rupees. So what happens here is that the company or the app that you're trading sets a certain minimum number of shares, let's say 100 here, and then we can say, suppose that the price band is between 10 and 15. So what the app pre-selects for you is 100 shares at 15 rupees, suppose, because that's the minimum amount required. Okay, let's say 100 to 110, maybe let's say 110. So if you select 100 at 100 shares at 100 rupees, then 10,000 is the amount that is the minimum required. That will be one lot. So then you can select two lots and it will be selected for 200 shares, because if one lot is 100, then two lots will be 200 shares. Once you selected the aforementioned details, click continue or submit. If you have your shares in a demat form, the platform may ask for your UPI ID so that it can block the amount you applied for. A request mandate will be sent to your used UPI app within 24 hours. Check it under the category mandate. Headings may differ with the UPI app. Accept the mandate and the amount will be blocked. If you have allotted the shares, the amount will be seen, will be deducted from the bank, and if no shares in the same will be refunded once the allotment date passes. The allotted shares will be visible to you in your holdings after a week or so. Now, since you're holding your shares in a demat account, it's in a dematerialized form. The trading platforms are now, by law, supposed to ask you for your UPI ID so that they can send a request to the UPI app so that your bank can block that required amount that you're going to be investing. Now, each UPI app differs, and yeah, the user interface is different. So you will need to see where the category of mandate is. Now for Google Pay users, you can just select on your profile icon, and then you can see a category saying mandate there, and then it shows request pending, and then you can accept it with your PIN. And once you have accepted the bid or accepted the mandate, the amount will be blocked in your account. It won't be deducted immediately. It will be deducted only after after a week or so from the last day of the bidding dates of the IPO. Now, allotment takes a while. It may take a week, like I said. And if the company that is issuing the IPO is ASBA, also known as applications supported by blocked amount. That is, ASBA is basically when the company deducts the amount from your bank account. It means that your shares have been allotted to you, the IPO have been allotted to you. But sometimes it may seem that the amount has been deducted from the bank account, but if you check your passbook, the same has not been deducted exactly. So it means that it has been blocked, but it is not deducted. It means that you have not been allotted the shares. And if you do not get the allotment, the money that was blocked for you and that was not there in your balance will be refunded to you the next day, supposedly. And do not worry about the problems of not getting a refund, because it is by law. The SEBI says that they are supposed to refund the unused money. You will get an email from the company that is issuing the IPO saying that you will get the refund soon. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Thank you.